on my side of things, my audience is very, probably more on the side of independent content creator, right? But there's a lot of people who they're just living their creative life and they want to get involved on your side of the stuff, but also they want to do their own thing. And I think it's very interesting how I'm seeing YouTubers build teams and becoming their own production houses, you know, going from making videos on their bed in their bedroom to really these powerhouses. But I think a lot of what the community lacks and why I think we see a lot of people rise and then just disappear is there's a lack of structure. And that's something that over in LA you guys do very well, right? I mean, you're very used to working with other people, to having everything from finance to creative to post-production just all on lock. And so do you have any ideas on how independent creators can really like utilize this model of like the IP and really thinking about their things? Maybe it's being more structured around the branding of like their content, breaking it up into series more maybe, and being more intentional with pitching it beyond their own channels. Or it's kind of like, you know, again, there's room to grow in what I'm doing and what independent creators are doing. So I guess the question is, how do you see basically taking what you guys are doing and how we can apply that to what we're doing?
Yeah, and I want to make sure I understand the question.
I know that was everywhere.
Only because I'm a really strong process guy, right? And
well, let me stop you there. Okay. That's what all of us lack.
Okay.
And that's what I'm trying to ask is like how, you know, process. What is process? How do we apply that? How do we hire people? How do we get structure on creative?
And there are models that exist, right? The thing that I want to sort of touch on is the two different models. One is, for our industry, right, it's follow the money. For some industries, the counter to that is it's follow the audience. If you're following the audience, then you find out what the audience is looking for. You create content to get to them. The economic model typically trails that. For us, it's who's buying content and what are they buying, and whose content are they buying, and how did they sell it to them. So our process follows how do we get to the money, because that's the way we get to do what we want to do. Some models are how do we find the audience, because you find the audience, you build the audience, and then the money follows you. So it's determining what your model is and the process to get there. That's what I would offer.
That's good. Because I think a lot of people get to a point, and I'm asking this just because it's, you know, the point that I'm at, where it's like, okay, I'm done being hunched over editing videos for 10 hours a day. Like there's bigger fish to fry at this point. When you found attention and you want to scale, but as a creative, it's almost like my brain doesn't work in that way to like, oh wait, I have to write out what someone has to do. Why can't they just be another me, you know? And then you get disappointed a lot. And so I think I think we need to put more emphasis on process in the creative community. And I think that's what will really help us. You know?
And I would offer that in that instance, that what you're working to do is merge the models, whereas you've built an audience and now you want an economic version of that. And so it's finding out how to use that asset and what entities are paying for it, right? What entities are financing it and putting resources behind the audience now that you have it. I just want to offer that, you know, one really good example of that is Netflix, right? Netflix has built an audience, right? Now they need content. So if you notice how they're spending a lot on content because they built the audience first, whereas the studios have libraries of content because they built the content and now they have to find the audience. So it's finding where your assets are and who's interested in them and what strategic partner can you find. Once you identify that, you look at models, similar models, to say, how did they get there? And then that's your process.